Hello and welcome. I'm Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a super fueled meal. Yes, I can't wait to get started. But before I do, be sure and hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell next to it so you get notified every time I post new videos. And I have the honor of teaching you, sharing with you, God's recipe for excellent health. Because not only are we spiritual, but we are physical. And not only are we physical, but we're spiritual. So here at the Biblical Nutritionist, I get to teach you about God's love for you, foods that are going to satisfy your body, and how we need to think and pray and fast to understand God's Word. So that's what it's all about. Now let's get started. So today I have a lot of food arranged in front of me. What we're going to do is put together kind of a combination of all these foods so we can then just scoop it up for a meal and just say, hey, I'm gonna have a cup of that today, a cup of that for dinner, 2 cups for a meal, and it is going to be a super fueled meal. So I'm going to give you some ideas. We're going to start with protein. So you can go ahead, I've already cooked up just a little bit of protein. What I want you to do is cook up 2 pounds of protein. So that could be lamb, bison, beef, turkey, chicken, any of those 5 foods. Now, if you're doing Daniel fast, then we would eliminate this and we would substitute lentils or chickpeas or another bean. My husband's doctor was writing prescriptions faster than our hearts were beating with stress. Yet, could there be another way? Is there another answer? Well, that is when a friend suggested to me, Annette, go back into God's Word, start reading it differently, and start with the Daniel fast. Well, those words changed the trajectory of our lives. And 30 days later, we were prescription-free, 35 pounds lighter, combined total, lower cholesterol, lower triglycerides, and we knew that God had answered our prayer for greater health His way. Now, if you are praying for an answer on how to get started, I highly recommend the Daniel fast. First, go to the biblicalnutritionacademy.com website, click on the Daniel fast, and sign up. It's that easy. Plus, the link will be in the show notes below. So you're going to have 2 pounds of meat. So just go ahead and cook it up. We want it to be diced and chopped finely or shredded like if it was chicken or turkey. I'm only doing a 1 pound package. Actually, it's about 3/4 of a pound because I didn't really want as much. But the recipe is 2 pounds of meat. Okay, or substitute lentils, chickpeas, or rice, or a protein like that, or some beans. Now, the next is our vegetables. I want 2 pounds, yes, 2 pounds of vegetables. And here's where we get to quite an assortment of vegetables to choose from. So over here, I have some spinach. Here we have some carrots. Now, I wanted to add some color and some fun, so I threw in some purple carrots here. So I shredded them up. They're ready to go. We have some green onions. I love green onions. I have a little bit of asparagus because this is all my garden has put out yet. I had 4 asparagus that I chopped up here. I have some Brussels sprouts. I have some cauliflower here, and I already have another head that was shredded already, so that's ready to go. Then parsnips are a good vegetable. You could use that. Now you don't have to use everything I have here, so don't get overwhelmed like, I'm not doing all that. I just want you to pick whatever vegetables you want, and then I want you to shred them. So here I have some green cabbage, and then here I have some purple cabbage. So other options. Now, mushrooms count as well. So nutritious for your body and your microbiome. And then I have some organic red and yellow peppers. Now remember, if you have ever bought anything from the Designed Healthy Living website where we ship it out from our office, we always send you our produce shopping guide so you could fold it up, put it in your wallet, and take it with you to the store. So peppers are always to be organic. Let's see. So that's the vegetables. So 2 pounds of meat, unless you're substituting some lentils or beans. Then we're going to have let's see, yeah, 2 pounds of meat and then 2 pounds of vegetables. So I'm going to get the scale out and show you what that would look like. And then we're going to have 2 more pounds of our carbs. So the carbs could be, again, it could be the rice, it could be lentils. I've got some quinoa ready to go here. And so basically we're putting together about 6 pounds of food. I know that sounds like a lot of food, but what we're looking to get is about 12 to 14 cups of it all put together. We're going to cook it together, and then you would just let it cool, store it in the refrigerator, and when it's mealtime, just take your 1 cup measuring cup, spoon it out, put it on your plate, warm it up, and you've got a delicious, super fueled meal that you can eat anytime you want. So let's get started. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my scale and we're going to measure, what does 2 pounds of fresh vegetables really look like? Let's check that out. So I have my bowl and I have my scale calibrated to take off the weight of the bowl, because the bowl would have been the 2 pounds. Now I am going to pick my favorites. I am definitely going to do all of the spring onions, and I have so much more on my counter here than what is going to count for 2 pounds. And I know I want mushrooms because that's just one of my favorite foods. So I'm definitely going to do those too. So I'm going to start with those 2. And yeah, I'm not even up to a pound, so that's great. I want to definitely use my asparagus because they're nice and fresh from the garden. And then, oh, I also have parsley here. I forgot to tell you about that. I definitely want my peppers because I just start with my favorites. Now I'm going to go ahead, let's see. Yeah, we're almost to 2 pounds. I'm going to add some cauliflower. Now I said I was just going to make 2 pounds, but I'm actually going to make 4 pounds. So I'm kind of changing it up as I go because I realize I'm going to want more of this and I have so much already prepared, so I just want to keep adding. So I added my cauliflower. I want to definitely add in some of my carrots. Mind you, some of what is left over I'll just use in the Power 5 salad. So if you have not seen that Power 5 salad recipe, oh, you so want to watch that. Okay, so I'm almost at the 3. I'm going to add in some more cabbage, some green cabbage, and then I really want this to continue to be a beautiful dish, so I'm going to go ahead and add in some purple cabbage, and then I'm going to stop and then top it with some parsley and some spinach. Now we're going to go to the stove and we're going to just saute this in some olive oil. So I got my parsley here. I'll add that in at the end of my cooking, and then I'm going to add in some of my spinach too at the end as well. So now we're going to go to the stove and we're going to go ahead and saute this. Isn't that just a gorgeous looking bowl? Okay, this is going to be good. So I'm adding the vegetables here into this skillet. I've got a little bit of olive oil that I'm using, a couple tablespoons. Just use that however you need. If you need a little bit more, if you need a little bit less, you can kind of just play that by ear. Isn't that just the most gorgeous looking cooking dish ever with all these bright colors? So I'm going to have to do this at a couple different shifts. Do 1 skillet full and then do the next batch, because I did do kind of double what the recipe calls for. But I know I'm going to love this and I know I'm going to want to have it on hand. Now, so I'll just stop there. I can use a little bit of seasoning. One of my favorite seasonings is Morton's Nature's Seasoning. I've been using this pretty much most of my cooking life. And I'm also going to add in my granulated garlic. I try to grow enough garlic and then dehydrate it as soon as I harvest it so that I have it in these containers to last all year. This year I ran out a little bit, so I had to buy some at the Amish market. They had a very fresh supply there. I was quite happy to find that discovery. So I'm really just sauteing these till they're just a little bit crisp tender. I definitely want those onions and mushrooms to get cooked. You could have started with just the onions and the mushrooms, get them well sauteed, and then add the other vegetables. You could do it either way, and it is going to be perfectly fine. The key is to keep stirring it while you're cooking it so everything cooks evenly. In my home ec class, I totally would have gotten an A on this because of having so many vibrant colors all in one dish. The goal was never have a monotone meal. The meal should not be all the same shape or the same color. So I would so have passed home ec class. I took 7 years of it, so you would hope I learned something. Now we're going to mix it all together. We're going to start with our meat. If you chose to do the 2 pounds of meat, you would add that in. You definitely want it to be crumbled or shredded. We're going to add in 2 pounds of our mixture of vegetables. Then we're going to add in 2 pounds, which is more of a half a pound of it dry, half a pound of lentils dried, which is going to be half this container. I did a complete package of lentils versus a half. I could also do a fourth of this package that I cooked, and I like to just have them ready, and I'll just go ahead and freeze what's left over. I'm just going to do a fourth of it, and then I'm going to add in some quinoa. So the quinoa is going to really up the protein as well. And there we have that. I want to add in my parsley, which I didn't do it in the cooking because I realized I wanted it just a little bit fresher flavor. So now I'm going to mix all of this together, and we have our super fuel meal. And so I'm going to have enough for 5 or 6 meals. If it's just me, or if I'm serving several people, then they could all enjoy it. Now, to serve this to my family, I'm going to have to increase the meat, whereas when I eat it, I'm like, I don't really need the meat. I just want all of the other goodness, because lentils, and you could add chickpeas, you could add any bean whatsoever, you could add some brown rice. I'm going to put the recipe down below and all of the different options that you can use in this dish. And pretty well, I think I've got it mixed up really good. And that's it. So you would just put this in, you would let it cool, put it in the refrigerator, and then just dish it out for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you have a perfect super fuel meal. So it's ready to go. It'll last you several days, and you're good. Now, if you're like me and you shredded and cooked a lot more food than you needed, then you can make another batch or save all that for your Power 5 salad. If you're wondering why I have my Bosch mixer out here, it's because the slicer shredder makes short work of all of these vegetables. I would not want to do a hand shredder and be shredding up the cauliflower or the Brussels sprouts or the carrots or the cabbages. I wouldn't do that by hand. That's just too much work. So this just makes short work of it. It's just a zip and it's done. It's perfect. Okay, so here I have my 1 cup measuring cup. So 1 serving, if this is all you're having, would just be 2 cups. So 2 1-cup servings. Now what I could do is I could put this on a bed of organic spinach as my base. I could put that in my bowl like that, and then take my 2 cups, put it on top, and that's a meal. It's a meal, it's hearty, and it's got my 2 favorite ingredients, which are, put it in the comments down below, pause the video, put it in the comments, restart the video. Yes, it's protein and fiber. Yes, so you've got protein and fiber, which means you are going to feel really good. So there we have it. It's just 1 meal in a bowl. Now, let me share with you another option. I went ahead and scrambled 1 egg. So if I was going to have an egg, maybe for breakfast, then this would be what would go along with it. So just 1 cup there right beside it. And I have another option as well. So this is just what I want you to understand. We can just cook once and eat all week. This is so perfect for the Daniel fast. Just leave out the meat. You don't need it. If you're keto, then put the meat back in. We're not eating the carbs that are sometimes avoided on keto. If you're just wanting to lose weight, then it's 2 cups a serving at a meal. Every meal, whenever meals you want. If you make this your lunch every week, you're done. It's good to go. You can take it to work. You can travel with it. It's really good. And most of all, you can add whatever spices You could add other herbs if you wanted to. They're all okay. I'll put that in the notes down below as well. And it's going to give you that antioxidant-rich, anti-inflammatory, super fuel meal that you need every day. So I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait to read your comments down below because I like to respond to your comments as much as possible. And remember, I'm here to serve you God's recipe for excellent health. If you want to learn, well, what does that mean? What is all that involved? Then go to biblicalnutritionacademy.com, and that's where all of our courses are listed. We have the Daniel fast, we have fasting, we have prayer, we have courses on a Bible study that takes you from Genesis to Revelation. It's called the Treasures of Healthy Living. We have our 40-day transformation course, and we also have for free our 7 steps to amazing biblical health. So much to offer you. Be sure and check that out at biblicalnutritionacademy.com. I would love to see you graduate as a biblical wellness member there. Okay, I'm Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com, here to serve you God's recipe for excellent health. Thanks for watching.